Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you every week on Bright House Cable Network at 9:30 p.m. We also do two other shows, Latino Role Models, which highlights the accomplishments of Latin women, and also EDU TV, which talks about our educational system in Florida. It's the only TV show that does that. Left to right, let them introduce themselves.
Greg Perkins.
EDU host, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you
Yes,
forgot
sir.
that.
Yeah.
Bill Garlington,
Author, famous, extraordinaire.
conservative author. It's Your Choice America.
Okay, and
Jose Miranda, Hispanic Speak Out TV.
host, Hispanic Speak Out TV. Every week we do a little bit of a battle about what's going on politically. We try to give the minority side of politics, the views. So we reflect. I'm a registered independent. Greg is a Democrat. Bill is a conservative Republican, and Jose is a liberal Democrat. Okay, so we got a little balance here, and we have a Hispanic, a nationality,
White?
Irish,
White?
European American.
European, and an immigrant, and
European
illegal.
American.
And Greg Perkins, and myself, I'm Puerto Rican. All right, so let's go, guys.
You didn't ask me what I was.
Hey, you're you're Afro-American, and I don't know, but I know you were born here, so I didn't have to get into that other stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about, let's kick off with Hillary, our favorite subject, your favorite subject.
Right.
What's going on with Hillary? The most up to date? Is she going down? Is she going up? Is she
she's
going to the
killing
White House?
Well, the most up to date, it looks like she's going to, unless she stumbles, she's going to be the Democratic nominee with delegates, even though Bernie Sanders had a very good weekend in Super Tuesday as far as beating her in some states. But I still believe by May she will be indicted, and then it's going to be all hell, chaos.
Do you believe in unicorns too? Because she's not going to be indicted.
Well,
I don't know why you guys keep going down that road.
Well, because you know why? You asked a good question. Because every week or so, something happens that is the next step in going that direction. For example, now they have an employee of hers who they gave immunity to. Now, why would you give immunity to somebody who doesn't, he has a lawyer, okay, and that lawyer made a deal for him saying, give us immunity. Now, why would a lawyer negotiate immunity for a person if he didn't have to say something that was questionable?
Because he was taking the fifth this whole time.
But they wanted him to testify. The Hillary campaign said, we want this guy to testify, so he can say that we didn't do anything wrong.
Well, what else do you expect them to say? That they want him to testify?
That's exactly.
because they're guilty?
They gave him. Why would you assume they gave him immunity simply for Hillary? It could have been he owed donuts to the IRS or whatever.
Right.
Could have been 100 different reasons.
Because-
but
okay,
you,
no,
in your
because-
narrowness,
okay.
in your
Go
narrowness,
ahead.
want to put Hillary in the ground constantly.
No, that's not true.
That's true.
What happened to
I just-
Benghazi?
Oh yeah, what happened?
Wait,
That's
I'm
coming
just-
up next. Yeah, what happened? Okay,
I'm just trying to convey
What happened to
what I
Benghazi?
know is going on.
let's talk about Benghazi.
Wait a second. I want to talk about Benghazi.
Well, why
I wanna talk
not?
about what's happening now.
That's
So-
against her too.
Well, it is, and that it's not my
Okay.
fault that she's involved. That she lied to all
Okay.
the families of the people that were murdered.
Okay.
She lied to the families.
Let's go back to the White House
saying
when
it
she was
a
there with her
tape.
husband. She condoned his messing around.
Well, that's true too.
Okay,
Agree.
well, let's
You're
do
making
that.
our point.
Okay.
Any more?
Let's bring that up.
Are you sure you're not a conservative?
Okay, let's bring all that
He's a
up.
Republican.
Whitewater. We got
Okay.
Whitewater.
You want to know
back
something? I think he switched sides.
Okay.
Theories
He's a
and myths,
Republican.
man.
Okay.
There's all a bunch of theories and
Okay.
poppycock.
American people don't vote for Hillary because she's a jailbird.
Oh,
That is
that
not
is-
a fact. That is
That
a
is-
wish and a desire, and
Right.
it is not Christmas.
I think
A
you're,
wish
you're
and a
resorting
desire.
to some Trump techniques now.
Yeah, Bill. What are you, Donald Trump
it's
Jr.?
okay to lie. When all else fails, just straight
Okay,
out
all
lie.
right, no, but let's. They have a guy who is going to be protected from prosecution
Against
in
something.
relationship
against something.
Well,
You have
when
no
they
idea.
introduced it was all about Hillary's.
No assumption on
Okay.
reporters' parts.
All right, so you're saying that this is all an assumption.
That's it.
Okay, next week we'll find out a little bit more, and then
Okay.
we'll find out if Jose is correct, if it's all an assumption. Unfortunately, I can't look it up right now. All right, so what do you think? You can contact us at Hispanic Speak Out TV. Look it up on the website, and you can send us a comment. Let's talk about Mitt Romney. Comes out of nowhere.
Right.
This
Outstanding
guy
revelation
lost
on his
how many
part.
elections, and all of a sudden he's the mouthpiece for the Republican Party.
And he spoke gospel.
What did he speak? He spoke about
He
Trump.
spoke about Trump.
Yeah.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
He didn't miss a point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he
but
was
the
correct.
reality is
Didn't
why?
miss a
The
point.
question is why?
Because Trump
he
doesn't want Trump to be president of the United States.
Does he want to be president of the United
No.
States?
Did
You
he
don't think
say-
that
No,
he
I just
wanted
think
to?
the establishment is just really,
The establishment.
they're really angry now.
This is what Senator Graham
Okay.
said the other day.
What is the establishment? That's
Okay.
something that's like everybody uses that word establishment.
I can tell you
I'm
what
still
they are.
trying to
I can tell you
figure
what
out,
they are.
Is that the Bush family and
There you
people
go
like
again,
the
boys.
Kochs or whoever?
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Those
Yes.
multi-million dollar
Yes.
that run the country.
And they're used to controlling everything and pretty much handpicking the candidate.
You're halfway
But-
there. You're halfway
Okay,
there.
Okay, finish the
what's
rest
the
of
half
it.
I'm missing?
The establishment goes back, many centuries.
Decades.
But okay,
In-
but
for
well,
the
no,
Republican
listen.
Party.
But the establishment versus the conservative Ted Cruz type people is that they do not want to trim the federal government. They continue to grow the federal government and all their power, where the base of the conservatives want to have more of the decision making at the state level. So they want to trim the federal government, and we have a plan to do that. The establishment wants to keep their power, their lobbyists, and just grow the
And
federal
you know what? I
government.
totally agree with him. You guys do have a plan. They want to cut childhood services. They want to cut education. They
No,
want
we
to
wanna
cut
give it back-
housing.
we wanna give back
They
to the
want to cut
states.
your
We wanna give it
foods.
back to the states.
You want to cut everything that has to do with human
I don't know who the
decency.
establishment is. Who are these
Okay.
guys? I mean, I know that there are people who have been in political power in the Republican Party for 40 years.
That's
I can tell you who it is. The
Lindsey
Bushes. The
The
Bushes.
Bushes.
Carl Rove.
Carl Rove. He's got it right. Carl Rove,
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, Bet Boehner, and Marco Rubio came in as a Tea Party.
Yeah, he did,
And
yeah.
what I told my brother today, that happy birthday, Bob. But what I told my brother today was Marco Rubio was like Judas. He went in as a Tea Partier, but the Gang of Eight, he made a deal with Chuck Schumer, and now he's peeled it back. It was like Judas. He got the money, and now he wants to be forgiven because Judas was a loyal friend of Jesus. He just made that one mistake by betraying him. That's what
That's a
Marco.
mistake.
That's what Marco Rubio has done with this Gang of Eight.
Who did he betray?
The
Tea Party?
conservative,
Okay.
the Tea Party,
Okay.
the Tea Party.
So we have the Republican establishment, which is McCain, who's been
Yeah.
there forever,
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
and
it.
all of these guys
Bushes.
who have been controlling the Republican Party and the money that goes along with it.
That's right.
Okay, and now Trump is trumping them
Yep.
Correct.
and is going to overturn their vote
Correct.
and take over the Republican Party.
And the only
They're
reason he can-
totally afraid that Trump is going to bring in. He's going to wipe. He's going to clean house. If he gets there, he's going to clean house, throw all of these guys out, and bring in a whole new crew.
And he's messing up their money.
Well,
right?
you're incorrect.
Okay?
Okay.
I'd love to be incorrect.
Okay,
Teach
you're,
me.
you're incorrect. Donald Trump is saying to the establishment what Danny just said. He wants to turn everything topsy-turvy. The only problem with Donald Trump versus a Rand Paul, a Mike Lee, and a Ted Cruz is that 1 minute he's a liberal, 1 minute he's a fascist, 1 minute he's a conservative.
But you want to know something?
yes.
Let's just look. Yes, during his business career, he gave money to the Clintons and
Okay.
he gave money to the Democratic Party.
Okay.
He wasn't a politician.
Okay.
There isn't a businessman at that level who doesn't give money to both parties.
And he did that. He did
And he
that.
did that. He's
Okay.
guilty of that.
Okay.
There isn't a businessman in New York that doesn't do that.
Okay.
If a Republican walks in and says, "Give me $50 for my campaign," sure, no problem. Democrat walk, "Give me $50 for my campaign," sure, no problem. That's what it's all about
Yeah.
in America.
Okay, but may I finish?
Business people have to do that.
May I finish my thought?
Go ahead.
Okay. That's okay as a businessman, but you're running for president of the United States. And what I love about Ted Cruz, whether you like him or not, his core values he will not compromise.
That's bull crap.
In other words,
That is
his
bull
core-
crap.
Excuse me. His
Yeah.
core values. He's a Christian. He's a constitutionalist. These are core
A
values.
Christian?
that-
You saw what he did to Ben Carson? And then you see the lies he put out. He had to fire his guy. You call that Christian like?
Don't believe everything you hear. Don't
Why'd he
believe
fire him? Why'd he fire the guy? For doing bad tactics and spreading lies on
he
people.
fired him
And if he's such a conservative, why did he borrow $500,000 from Goldman Sachs?
Okay.
That's the biggest
Let's take
money-making machine on earth.
Okay, Donald, breathe. Okay. You need to breathe. Okay, what I'm trying to say is he's a conservative. He fired the person that lied about the Rubio being about the Bible, so he fired him. He didn't fire the guy over
Okay,
the
but
Carson.
do you really think, and this is the logic of the situation,
Sure.
that the conservative movement that he represents is the major population of the United States? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Why do you think Trump has such a massive response so far? Because he's not ultra conservative and he's not ultra liberal. He's playing the game in the middle.
Okay, there was a
Yes,
there was
he's
a
playing the
question.
game of being, I am nuts. How many nuts are out there? Please bring
They're
me
all
all your
nuts,
nuts.
Jose.
No,
That's what he's done.
Listen, all of these guys-
That's what he's
listen,
done.
The reality is,
No, the reality
we have
is-
the worst selection of presidential candidates
That might be.
probably in the history of the United States.
But this guy's
Hillary
catering to
Clinton,
people who
and
zig heil him.
Bernie
Now, come on now.
Sanders, they're loons.
Okay.
Okay?
Jose's
then
got-
you have Cruz, Trump. I mean, come on.
Okay.
So the most sane of all of these people is Hillary, okay?
No, it's not.
She is.
No,
She's the most sane.
is
She's the most
sane.
Yeah.
Who?
Jose is correct that the fact that the people that are following Trump, these people are low information voters. He is correct.
Are you
And
saying they're dumb now?
absolutely they are dumb?
So you're talking about, that's what Donald loves dumb
they
people.
Are
Hello.
low, they are low.
Most Americans are low information voters.
yeah.
I got news for you. That's why people run so much advertising.
However, let me finish. The low information voter that is in the tank with Trump is liking Trump's conservative ideas, and that is what the base is. The base, if we can convince these Kool-Aid drinkers that are following Trump, we will beat Hillary.
You're not going to convince anybody by calling them Kool-Aid drinkers. Hey, you're an idiot. Hey, will you vote for me? I mean, come on, man. You just call these people idiots,
listen.
and you're going to need their vote.
If you're a Democrat,
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever, dude.
All right. So we've covered Mitt Romney, who's suddenly come out and is attacking Trump. Okay. Who I've seen the tape of Mitt Romney 2 years ago saying Trump is the greatest thing that ever walked the earth. You know, he's one step away from Jesus Christ.
Right, exactly.
You know, and that was only 24 months ago.
Yeah.
So, you know,
But
Mitt's
he
got
also
a little,
contributed probably in excess of
they're running that thing all over the
$100,000.
place. You know?
And here's my thing's like, dude, don't you have something else to do? I mean, why are you involving yourself in this? You got a lot of money, go
Because
do something.
He wants to be drafted. I
Lindsey-
think that
Lindsey
he really
Graham-
wants to be drafted.
Lindsey Graham come out and said the other day that over Trump versus Cruz, he would vote for Cruz because Cruz has some sort of substance that Lindsey Graham and the establishment could work with. Donald Trump's a loose wire. He says all these
and
things.
Ted Cruz didn't. He shut down the government.
No,
Yeah, he would. He tried to shut down the
Yeah.
government twice.
he can't shut down the government.
He tried,
he tried.
twice.
You know what we're,
Yes,
what
he
we're
did.
looking at is we have
Failure to communicate, that's what
we
we're
have Cruz, who's very conservative. Cruz is the equivalent of Bernie. Okay, but on the other side of the fence.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Yes.
No. How you
Bernie's
justify
an
that?
extreme on the Democratic liberal side,
Okay.
and Cruz is an extreme
I agree.
on the conservative side.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay?
Okay.
They kind of like balance each other out. And then you have in the middle, you have Mitt Romney saying, I'm the savior right now, so he's trying to get drafted. You have Trump, right? And then Rubio is trying to slide in between, you know, the little guy? He's trying to slide
And that's exactly what they call him, the little guy.
Well, it caught on, right?
Yeah, caught on. It stuck with him.
and
stuck with
Trump's
him.
big hands,
Yeah.
you know?
Listen,
So Rubio won Puerto Rico, and he's hoping to win Florida. If he doesn't grab
I'm sorry.
Florida,
Puerto
I'm
Rico.
sorry. What does that mean?
that means he got 23
you guys
votes.
can't
But
even
that
vote.
doesn't mean
You can't even vote in the election.
it doesn't mean anything.
No, but this is what
It's
it
a
means.
waste of time.
It means, I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you what
What?
it means.
Okay.
It's a reflection that Hispanics, particularly Puerto Ricans who do vote, mostly vote, they have 1 million votes here in Florida.
Yeah.
So that they're hoping that Spanish vote
Those
is gonna
23
tilt.
votes
No,
that
not
are
23.
Puerto
Not
Rican,
23. Not the 20
are going to support
Cruz.
a
No,
Cubano, right?
the
Is that
23
what you're saying?
listen,
It's not going to happen.
Cruz. They're going to
No,
support
it's
Cruz.
not. You and I know that. But
That's not going to happen.
So that means Trump.
Then why are you saying it?
That
No.
means Trump will. That's what he's hoping for. That means Trump will.
Well, yeah, because he's ahead right now.
Cruz
in
can
Florida.
take Florida.
I don't think.
No,
so.
because you know
Not
what?
with
Yes,
Miami.
yeah, and all
No,
that religious stuff.
he's
Nobody
Cuban.
wants to hear that.
no.
He's Cuban.
I don't see Cruz. I just don't see Cruz being president. I'm sorry. You know, it's like I just don't.
So
see
let me
I
ask you a
think he
question.
represents
If it
only
comes down
a
to
small
Cruz and
percent.
Hillary Clinton, who are you going to vote for?
I'm going to take a pill and go to sleep for 4 years.
Okay, so if it comes down to Trump and Hillary, guess what I'm going to do?
I'm
I'm
gonna-
going to take a pill and sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Well, I bought
we
my
have the
absentee
worst-
ballot,
like I
and I'm
said-
going to vote.
what I
Right.
said
I'm not
is
gonna go
we
to
have
sleep.
the worst selection of presidential candidates.
So you would let Hillary
that's
Clinton
why
in
this
before
whole
Cruz.
thing is going
You're
crazy.
going to let Hillary Clinton in before you vote for Ted Cruz. That's great. You heard her here first.
I didn't say
You
that.
said you would take a pill
No,
and
I
go to
said I would
sleep.
go to sleep. I got to
Before
think
you
about
go.
this.
What we're going
I
to do
can't-
for a
I
show
don't
if you
know
guys
which one
take
is
pills,
worse.
man? Come on,
I
man.
got to think of which one is worse between the two of them.
Seriously? You
I
gotta
know that
think.
I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump.
Well, you vote for Hillary.
No,
Good man.
I stay home
A
and take
good
that
vote.
pill with you.
You guys are going to be like those
Happy
suicide people in
angry.
California.
All right, this is Danny Ramos. Stay tuned because our friend at the end, our Puerto Rican friend over there with no hair, he's going to do an interview. We'll be right back.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Hay baile en el vecindario, todo es fiesta y alegría, porque ella el boricua tiene la cerveza que quería.
My name is Nilmarie Zapata, and I am a Latina role model because I believe that you can overcome any circumstances that come in your way and be the best version of yourself.
Hello, I'm Sandra Rivera, and I'm a Latino role model. Whatever your struggles are in life, whatever you don't have or don't have access to, don't use that as an excuse for not pursuing your dreams and moving forward. Get out of your own way and get out of your comfort zone, and you will be amazed at the growth that you will experience.
Are you proud to be Hispanic? Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
You will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
Hi, I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you each week on Bright House Channel 49, starting at 9:30. Of course, we have 2 additional programs. One is Latina Role Models, and the other is EDU TV with Greg Perkins. We talk politics, we talk education. Actually, we talk about everything that concerns the communities at large and beyond, things that affect us each and every day. I came across an article recently on homelessness, and it was mind-blowing actually to hear it. And I needed someone to help me through this, and I was lucky enough to get 2 great volunteers. And I'm not sure that guys volunteered, but they got them here anyway. I'm being joined by George Rallis, who's a doctor, and Michelle Chapin.
Chapin, correct.
Okay, who is was a special assistant to the mayor. Now, I heard all this, guys, and I was totally blown away. Okay, and I know that you guys are it as far as information, and like I need to know. So help us and the public know about this kind of thing that is quiet for the most part. Homelessness is a quiet thing. Nobody really talks about it unless a panhandler bothers you. So here we are, somebody's saying that they've spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on homelessness. And I would ask you the same thing as our listeners would ask you, is where'd the money go? How are you justifying it?
Well, we can start by saying that I think what you're referring to is the report that was recently released that was actually called for by Mayor Teresa Jacobs as well as the chair of the Orange County Committee, which is part of the Central Florida Regional Commission on Homelessness. And really, the reason the report was done, or the study was done, was because Orange County wanted to take a look at its investments in the area of homelessness to see where there were opportunities to better align with some of the regional and national approaches to ending homelessness that are based on best practices, and specifically around these concepts such as housing first,
Okay.
and being part of a coordinated system where homeless individuals and families are identified and assessed and registered for assistance. And so that's kind of where we started from in getting to the report.
Okay.
Did you want to add
Yeah,
anything
Dr.
to the
Ross?
history of it?
I think it's important to remember the difference in between a solution for homelessness and helping homeless people. I think we all want to help homeless people every single day. Like I said, it's not something we talk about a lot, but almost everybody sees it and experiences it on a day-to-day basis. We can all imagine ourselves wanting to do something to help these folks, right? But even those efforts to help people don't always end their homelessness status. So our strategy approach is changing from what it's been over the last several years, where we spent a lot more money on helping people with the experience of being homeless, to now looking down strategies that are specifically aimed at ending the homelessness state. In other words, putting them in a home.
Now, we talked a little bit off the air about the feel-good process and the actual process. So please enlighten me on the differences.
Well, I just say I think most importantly, the feel-good process isn't necessarily wrong. I think things that make it easier for somebody to be in that circumstance, whether that be
like you give them a plate of food.
Food,
okay,
clothing, education for kids, those type of things. We have to continue to do those with every opportunity that we can. But I think when you think about where the big dollars are going to be invested, what you have like county general revenue that comes from tax dollars, where does the taxpayer want us to invest the largest proportion of the money that we're using on this problem? I think the right answer there is spend the money on ending homelessness, put them in a home, right? So the feel-good component's always going to be there. I think that we're going to rely more and more as we move forward on partnerships with community-based organizations, and not-for-profits, and faith-based organizations to fill in those gaps. And I think you'll see the larger investments made by the government entities to be more into the affordable housing and rapid rehousing of folks.
Michelle, the report says that we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars already. So what have we got to show for those hundreds of thousands of dollars that we spent?
Right. So as Dr. Rawls just mentioned, we've been supporting organizations, good organizations doing good work that are about providing services. What we were not specifically looking for in necessarily our contracts or evaluating is, as a result of those services, were those homeless individuals and families ultimately housed, and did their homeless situation end either through housing or an exit to another permanently housed situation.
Okay. Dr. Rawls, we have, I want to say, it sounds like you're saying you guys provide the funds to outside agencies to take care of business,
in most cases.
And that you don't actually do the hands-on.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I would say in most cases we do run some programs ourselves. One of those programs is funded by the federal government. Another, actually very large proportion of what we're spending is operated by county government.
Okay.
But I would say most of the housing strategies that we're going to be involved with looking forward are probably going to be things that we partner with outside organizations, just because,
they're doing it already.
Plus, you can't do everything great yourself. I mean, we don't build. Obviously, we don't. We don't have a lot of staff to assign to things like housing location and so forth. So we definitely take advantage of our partnerships.
Okay, Michelle, how are we going to oversee this? Are these companies? You check out the companies prior to them submitting proposals that they're going to do X, Y, and Z, and then how do you follow that up?
So they're nonprofit organizations, and again, it will go back to what we are going to be monitoring in our future funding and in our contracts, and looking at the outcomes that are connected to ending the individuals or families' homelessness versus just providing the services.
What about the idea that some of these guys have been doing it for years and years and years? Are we going to allow just I want to say wasteful spending, okay? Are we going to allow just frivolous or wasteful spending to just go on and on and on, or do you have a system where you cap them off and say you've got to be successful or partly successful by such and such?
Well, let me say also, I wouldn't really categorize what's happened in the past as wasteful spending, because I don't think that's really the right way to frame it.
Okay.
None of the money was wasted in the sense that the money all went to provide services and important services for people.
Okay.
The question is, was it effective spending? Was it effective in ending homelessness? Did you actually achieve a better end state for that person than they had before you started to serve them? So I think that's what we're after, and is more effective spending. And the way we're going to try to get at that is much more sort of clear and descriptive performance outcomes in the contracts.
Yeah, but right now you haven't. Up until this point, until you guys did this report, you guys have tried vainly to correct something that seems to be a big giant snowball. So I guess what I'm saying, in effect, how do we stop the snowball so we can start working at it?
Yeah, I think if I had to explain what's different about today than, let's say, a year ago
Yeah,
when we started this process.
even a year ago, yeah.
What we know today is that you have to measure your outcomes based on exits to permanent housing, not did somebody get something that might have made their life easier. And I think it's a delicate balance, because I can tell you, if you went out into the streets and asked 10 people, half the people might tell you it does make sense to give homeless people or people in need food, clothing, and things like that. And maybe that might be more important in some cases than permanent housing, right? So it's not, not everybody's going to give you the same sort of answer on that. But I can tell you that what we know, looking at the industry, and the service, delivery model that we have locally, statewide, and nationally, that the most important outcome to what we spend has to be an exit to permanent housing. So that's what's different today than what we had a year ago.
Okay, one last question real quick. Can the public get involved in helping you guys? Or is this just strictly something that's set up by the mayor and the public doesn't have an input?
Well, I can think of one way the public can get involved, and that's through just supporting the nonprofit organizations that are doing work related to housing outcomes.
Okay.
And so, as I said, they're all nonprofits.
Sure.
And I think it's important that as an individual, they do their research and give where they feel confident in an organization.
Right.
That would be one way.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that I think the general public should keep in mind that all of these things are happening on a continuum of sorts, right? So, what we're going to be doing as a county government might look a little different than what would be happening at the state level, and that might also look a little different than what's happening at the federal level.
Right.
But the general public has a place in this continuum too. So every little bit of support, whether that's volunteering, whether that is simply doing the things that make you feel good and make a person in need feel good, those things are still necessary and should still be done. Okay. On that note, I have to cut it at this point, but I want to invite you back because there's so much more to talk about, okay? Absolutely. But we just ran out of time. Michelle Chapman?
Yes, thank
you. And Dr. Ross, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been Hispanic Speak Out TV. We'll see you again next week.
Are you proud to be Hispanic? Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States. Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer.
I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
Hay baile en el vecindario, todo es fiesta y alegría, porque ya el boricua tiene la cerveza que quería.
My name is Nilmarie Zapata, and I am a Latina role model because I believe that you can overcome any circumstances that come in your way and be the best version of yourself.
Hello, I'm Sandra Rivera, and I'm a Latina role model. Whatever your struggles are in life, whatever you don't have or don't have access to, don't use that as an excuse for not pursuing your dreams and moving forward. Get out of your own way and get out of your comfort zone, and you will be amazed at the growth that you will experience.